Hello there, I'm Archbishop Coyne, and this is Coffee with the Archbishop. I got my coffee mug dispenser here from St. Paul's School. Thank you, St. Paul's School. And joining me today is Mr. Felix Menendez, who is the new Chancellor of the Archdiocese of Hartford. Welcome.
Thank you.
How do you take your coffee?
Well, I'm cutting back right now, but I take it black with no sugar.
Do you do it like the Spanish way? Do you like I have one of those little Italian mocha makers that I'll use to get a really intense first shot. Do you do that, or have you become Americanized in your coffee?
Half and half. I have a Mr. Coffee coffee machine, but I load it very, very hard.
Okay. Colombian coffee or French roast?
The first thing I find when I go to the supermarket.
You're not even taking it. Well, so you grew up in Spain, and eventually you came to the United States through a kind of long, different way. You went to university in Spain. You got your degree in canon law, and then when did you first come to the United States?
First time I came as a exchange student to Catholic U in 2016.
All right. Now, did you grow up in a large family or a small family?
I have two siblings, two sisters.
Two sisters, older or younger?
Younger.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the first
So
born.
you're the prince of the family.
Yeah, the dethroned prince.
Okay. Probably because it's probably grandchildren now. Oh, you have two grandchildren.
Yes.
And all that.
And one sister has two.
Okay. But they're still in Spain?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And your mom and dad, are they still alive?
They are.
Oh,
yeah.
It's nice if they come visit you in the United States yet.
Yeah, they have been here a couple times.
Okay. So you're married and you have two little children, two girls, and their names are?
Maria and Jimena.
Jimena, and your wife's name is?
Angela.
Angela, okay. And they're adorable. You brought them into the office a few times. So Felix came on when we had some transitions within the office because we wanted, like Father Ford, Chris Ford has been Chancellor, but he's also a pastor of a very busy parish. And we needed to kind of rework things. He'd been in the job for a while. And you were known through us in other ways at different times being in the United States and also having worked here previously and then gone down to Atlanta and worked there. And I think we poached Atlanta. Didn't we poach Atlanta? Because we reached out to you, right? To say, would you want to come up here and work?
Yeah, I'm very close to Father Ford.
Okay.
So the connection was made there. So I was in Atlanta for close to a decade. So I think it was the right time.
Okay.
You know, like sometimes you feel, well, my work here is done. I need to grow. Actually, what I did there was exclusively marriage law. So I did only canon marriage law and nothing else. So this is a great transition for me because I am here learning about all these other sides of canon law, like parish mergers, penal law,
appeals,
and sacramental, so other sacraments that in a marriage tribunal you're so focused. So focus is so narrow.
Yeah. So you were down there working in the tribunal, and then you come up here and, like you said, you stepped into kind of like a new whole branch of canon law. So there's a lot of uploading in terms of getting up to speed on some things. But well, I mean, I think you're doing a great job because some of the stuff that we've had to deal with was pretty complex. And we managed to get them through and get it done well. Now we just got to see if the Holy See is going to accept some of our stuff that we sent over. You never know, but it's part. It's the administrative side and all that. How are you finding your transition to New England? You and your family?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
People down in Atlanta used to tell me, "Oh, it's going to be very cold out there," and I said, "Yeah, but maybe you can step out of the house during the summer, which is a plus, right?"
Yeah.
And also, I am noticing here there are so many activities, things to do. The other day we went to Sturbridge. Oh, those colonial towns are awesome.
Yeah.
And
there's the reenactors there, and they play to the children too. A lot of times when you go into different places, there's like a blacksmith, and then there's a woman who's cooking back in the colonial styles and all that. Yeah, I love Sturbridge Village, and it's this time of the year is great to go. So you come in there, and your family's you now little girls. One of the girls is going to Catholic school, and the other one's still at home with mom. Okay, all right. Yeah. So that's nice to know. In terms of the work that you do, they talk about canon law as being pastoral, and not just juridic. I mean, maybe you can kind of open that up, because people think, oh, it's just canon law, it's just this. They don't see the pastoral side of it.
So I think, and as a Spaniard, okay, please allow me some leeway in trashing Protestantism. So I think we have a huge influx from Protestantism in understanding law as something opposed to the nature of the church. So the Catholic Church was very juridical from the very beginning. So we are the heirs of the Jewish tradition, which is a legal tradition, right? Moses is the legislator that comes down Mount Sinai and gives laws to the people of God. And Jesus is the new Moses. And Jesus, of course, issues laws for his faithful to follow. And the apostles, from the very beginning, meet in a council, the Council of Jerusalem, and make determinations that are binding to the people. The Catholic Church in the Roman Empire was the only religion that didn't want to, I mean, with the Jewish, of course, that didn't want to fall in like just one another. No, we are not going to burn incense to the emperor, right? And that has been our tradition until modernity, when this understanding of the classical medieval way of understanding the world, man, and God breaks down, and then there is this separation, right? That nowadays is mostly common in Catholic environments, by this dichotomy between you are either pastoral or you are legalistic, right? And I think that's a betrayal of our nature, because one thing is not opposed to the other. If it's truly juridical in the canonical sense, it's got to be pastoral.
Well, I mean, it's like, let's just take a very loaded word, excommunication. This person, by virtue of what they've done or by decree, is outside of communion, excommunicated. It's intended to not be penal, to punish, but to cure, to bring them back, to say, you have stepped out of communion, and now we do this to bring you back into communion.
Right.
We want to encourage you to bring you back into communion. We don't say you're excommunicated, see ya. It's intended to be healing.
Yes.
And so I think that's something that people don't understand. They think, oh, it's like American tort law or something like that, or penal law. No, it's always intended for the good of the soul and souls of others. So sometimes excommunication also numerous times involves scandal. That what they've done is actually scandalizing the church, scandalizing others, and that needs to be corrected as well. So I think that's a very important thing for our people to understand. Well, that's like when you have the annulments. We have our law regarding marriage, the sacrament of marriage, and then when a marriage breaks down for all kinds of different reasons, it's healing. The intent of an annulment and the intent of the process is to heal the person and bring them, so that they can, in fact, if they get an annulment, to enter into a marriage, a sacramental marriage. So it's not intended to. It's not like, okay, we have to make this determination, and you don't have any. No, people will come out of an annulment process and they'll say it was one of the most healing things I've ever done.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, sanctions in the church are of two types. So we do have punition. So sometimes you've done something wrong and you got to pay for it to restore, so to say, the ecosystem, right? Yeah. So you need to repair.
Injustice, you need to
repair the scandal, reform the offender. We speak about these things, right? Okay. But we have these beautiful sanctions that are called medicinal, right? The strongest of which is the excommunication. Right. And certainly, those things are intended as a temporary punishment for you to repent, so to stop doing this thing. And excommunication is to take someone out of the communion.
Right.
So you are not a member of the family, or
it's like stepped away.
It's like having a child who's an addict, right? And it's very painful for the parents to cut him off. But sometimes it's the only thing and even if it breaks your heart, you gotta say, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna give you money because I am gonna be an enabler, so I gotta cut you off. I think it's a good metaphor.
This is what you need to do to come back. Okay, we could talk for a lot longer, but we try and keep these segments around 10 minutes. So thank you. It's good to have you on board as our new chancellor, and for just having this quick conversation.
Thank you, Archbishop.
You've been watching Coffee with the Archbishop. I'm Archbishop Christopher Coyne. God bless.